Rare Old Bookseller Catalogs. Hi, I'm Gary Levisi, and this time we're going to take a look at something a little different. We all know that booksellers, including myself, have put out catalogs over the years of books that we're selling. I put out books for Gryphon Books that I published, and a lot of book dealers put out their own catalogs for books. But these are something a little different, a little special, and a little kind of rare. These are catalogs that are probably over 100 years old, and they're for booksellers that existed way back in the old days. And we're going to look at a few of them now. First one we're going to take a look at is this one here. It's a little gem. It's a little digest magazine, actually. And it's from 1909. It's W.H. Moore from Brockport, New York. And what they did was they were a subscription agency. And they sold magazines like McCall's, Woman's Home Companion, Success Magazine, and various others that were very popular. You had McClure's was one of the popular magazines of the day, and inside they had advertising and where you could order the magazines. The interesting thing is here, this is a special rate for you for a farm magazine. This subscription. The subscription to Farm magazine was 20. This coupon was 25 cents for 2 years direct coupon. So this is a free subscription to Farm magazine. They had lists of the magazines that they were selling, and look at the prices on some of these. Unbelievable. This is for like a year subscription, and these are Harper's Magazine, McClure's Magazine, Harper's Bazaar, Harper's Weekly, all the various magazines that were published by this company, and the prices of the magazines. These $4 and $3 and aren't for each issue. These are for a whole year subscription of probably 6 or 12 issues. It's very interesting, very cool kind of thing. This is an advertisement for the Businessman's Brain Partners. It is a book that you could order from them. How to succeed in business without really trying, kind of thing, maybe. And here's the rest of the this catalog number 60 from 1908, 1909, and just some of the magazines that they had in here. Success Magazine, Woman's Home Companion, McClure's, Success, American Magazine. These are all turn of the century magazines before the pulps, but they had a lot of stories in them that were Woman's Home Companion. You could get a subscription for $2.50. It's unbelievable. Abraham Lincoln, and just interesting how they would sell these magazines back in the day through these subscription services. Now that's one. Here's the Family Magazine Club. You could get sensational offer for the year. Our price $3.50. You could get these 4 magazines for just $3.50. I mean, this is like unbelievable, the prices in those days. So that's W.H. Moore. Interesting thing is this is from a little booklet, a little one-page booklet that's from Doubleday, Page and Company, and it's for a specific book, Songs from Books by Rudyard Kipling, famous author. This shows the cover of the book, a hardcover with no dust jacket, because in those days they didn't issue them with dust jackets. They had illustrated boards. And here's the inside. Talks a little bit about the book. The book is listed here. It's I believe it's $1.40 for this hardcover first edition Rudyard Kipling book. And other books by him are $1.50, $1.35. There's from Doubleday, Page and Company, Garden City, New York. And it's interesting because it's done in a little bit of a book size advertisement for it. And in the back has a picture of Rudyard Kipling, the author, busy at work on his next book. So this is a kind of an interesting little thing that around the turn of the century that publishers were used to advertise new books that were coming out. The Century Company, this is a catalog of their new books, and they published little hardcovers for about $1.50 or around there for little hardcovers, and this is an advertisement for some of their new offerings for their new books. And one of them is on Mark Twain, and 4 of the new currently classics, and one is, if I can see which one it is, yeah, the third one is Tales by Edgar Allan Poe, so that's horror stories, and then there's a book on Lincoln, and these were really nice, attractive little hardcovers published by Union Square, published in Union Square in New York City. And these are around the turn of the century also. So it's the Century Company, new books by them. And the last one we're going to look at is something really, I find it pretty fascinating. It's almost a 200-page digest, book bargains. It's from the Clarkson Publishing Company, and this is from around 1947. And this was 98 cents postage paid. I mean, this is quite a book. But the thing is, this magazine, this catalog, the 1947 edition, and it's annual. Just has a lot of cool stuff in it from that time period. Here you see a lot of the books that they were selling, offering from various publishers. So this for 49 cents. These were hardcovers in dust jacket for 49 cents when they were new. And today they'd be classic. And there's some good, interesting Frenchman's Creek, Captain Blood, Blood of the North, a Pearl Buck, Dragon Seed, Congo Song, various other mystery, crime, adventure novels. All the books that they would be selling. Some really, really interesting. I wish I could go back into time, the time machine. You look at 49 cents, any 3 for $1.39. And it's like just imagine being able to find these. The Robe by Lloyd C. Douglas, our price $2.49. And a lot of these are probably first editions. Probably not. They didn't have book clubs. Weren't that big in those days, and these probably weren't book clubs. These are probably first editions that they were selling and through the mail, and also remaindered. Here's the Earl Stanley Gardner, The Case of the Black-Eyed Blonde. Various other, classic books. There's a lot of good stuff. Zane Grey, Ernest Haycox, H. Rider Haggard. So there's all of the popular and classic authors are represented in these books. C.S. Forester saga, Ship of the Line, and they have 3 of the books in the series they're selling. Any of these books. Any 6 for $4.98, any 3 for $2.59. Single copies, 95 cents. It's amazing. It's amazing. So this was almost a 200-page catalog that you would get in 1947 with all the books that were being published at that time, and for probably a few years before that. And they is illustrated. In black and white, but they did show some of the covers. They specialized in certain authors. They highlighted certain authors like Thorne Smith, his series, The Stray Lamb, and other books by him. Topper series by Thorne Smith, which was kind of a fantasy humor series, and then it was made into a movie with Leo G. Carroll. More great books, really great prices. Imagine for those days. For today, it would be amazing. The Sun is My Undoing. Various others. $1.49. Go back into time, they had some photos not really reproduced so well, but of the covers, but they give you an idea of some of the covers with books with dust jackets. All of them had dust jackets. W. Somerset Maugham, Then and Now. It's hard for me to read some of the titles and things upside down. Classics and fiction. And it's just like so many books. Then there's children's books, books for boys and girls, basically children's books. We're only on page 42, but you can get an idea of. I mean, it's just amazing to look back and see like all of these books, and see like what was available. This is 1947, this particular one. It's just very cool to see all of this stuff, to look through it. Red Randall Over Tokyo, which was a air war series, young boys adventure, air combat books, complete book of marvels. Tell Me About Jesus. There was religious books, anything for boys and girls, adventure, action, great series, just incredible stuff. Very nicely illustrated for something from that day. Lone Ranger books is all about 6 or 7 of them listed, all hardcover in dust jackets, and they're probably 59 cents each. Wish we could go back and buy them at that price, at those prices, in that condition when they were new. Pages here are very thin, it's very delicate, so I'm trying to be very careful while I'm turning the pages. But I just want to give you an idea of some of the cool stuff that's in this catalog. And it's interesting that these catalogs, a lot of them don't exist anymore because they were just, they were looked through and people ordered and then they threw them away. But this is the Everyman's Library. Any 3 titles for $2.98. Per volume, $1.09. Everyman's Library, classics of literature. And the thing is, people would go through these, pick out what they wanted, and here you have the order form, Clarkson Publishing Company. And you open up, it's a letter which opens up into an order form. It's pretty cool for those days. And you write down the books that you want, and put in a check or cash and send it, and you get your books. And the thing is that, so people did, ordered a lot of books this way through these catalogs, but they didn't keep, a lot of them didn't keep the catalogs. This one hasn't been used at all, and it still has a letter for ordering and the order form. But a lot of them would have pages taken out and things that were, this is full and complete, and very nice, very interesting kind of bibliography bibliographic item. All the books that were out at that time, bargains. I don't know how they can make them any more inexpensive than they're showing them, but they are. And the Modern Library Giants, Victor Hugo, all classic, and also in children's books, a lot of really nice, interesting children's books. And then you have, it continues, I mean, it's almost 200 pages, and then you have, in the back, you have more and more. It's just an amazing, in the back you have just an index of everything, alphabetical index. So, and with more ads on the back of how to do it books that were popular at the time. So,
didn't you tell me something interesting about the paper drives or something? You always talk about that.
Oh yeah, so a lot of these books also were, I mean, these catalogs, they were thrown out, and they were used after people ordered, they threw them out, but also they didn't last because of the paper drives. And it even says in here on this is popular adult fiction, and now 49 cents, has a little disclaimer down here. It says important. Paper shortages and manufacturing difficulties make it impossible for us to supply many of the titles listed on these pages after our present stocks are exhausted. In ordering, please indicate alternate selections whenever possible. So they were probably doing remaindered books that were unsold by the publishers. Publishers gave them to, or sold them to companies like Clarkson. And who sold the books, much like W.H. Moore sold the magazines. Okay, W.H. Moore sold the magazines to people around, this is 1909. A little later, in 1947, hardcover books in dust jacket, really nice copies, were sold as new, probably remaindered through Clarkson's publishing company in Chicago. And people would order the books, and the catalogs would be probably thrown out after a while. So you don't really see a lot of this kind of bibliographic ephemera popping up, especially old material like this. The Moore catalog from 1909 is over 100 years old. The Kipling and the Century books, little advertisements, are also probably around almost 100 years old, or somewhere around that. And the Clarkson from 1947. It's just an interesting kind of sideline of publishing history and book selling history that I think you might be interested in and might want to know something about. That these kind of catalogs existed way before a lot of book collectors considered the catalogs that today everything's online. 30, 40 years ago, when I began collecting, dealers would sell through the mail, and they'd make up their own catalogs. But these were companies that were specializing in books published by all different publishers, and making it available to people all across the country through the mail. It's funny because some of the books, like the Century books, they're little hardcover books. They're about $1.50, and the postage you have to pay the postage is 14 cents. So it's amazing, like the prices and the values at that time. But a lot has changed, and in some cases a lot hasn't changed, because there's still the books that are in these catalogs. Many of them are collectible, they're valuable, and they're classic literature that people are still reading and enjoying. So with that in mind, I just want to say thanks for looking at this episode of our video. We have over 600 subscribers now, and I'm really happy. I want to thank you all for subscribing, and just please pass the word around about the channel. Give us a like and a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for looking.